Hey guys, Sierra here. Summarize this year, my freshman year of high school. I know a lot of you guys might be like, you're only a freshman, like, you're such a baby. I know, okay, I'm aware. I realize this. I wish that I weren't such a baby, because I just wish I were a couple years older, like, maybe if I were, like, graduating or something. Because I feel like I'm a lot more mature. I don't know. And I just, like, another story that I'll get into another time is, like, maturity and things of the sort. So at the beginning of the year, I was really stoked to start high school because I didn't really like middle school, and I didn't necessarily think high school was going to be tons better, but tons better. Uh, I didn't think high school was going to be, like, a lot better, but I really didn't like my middle school or the people that were there, and I knew that some of them were going to be going to the same high school that I went to, but I don't know. There was more people, and I was like, no, because I can ignore them. Can ignore everything that they say and not have to worry about any of them. And I had gained a lot of weight over the summer. Maybe I'll insert pictures. Yeah, right now. So yeah, that was the photo on the left was me in 8th grade, and like that's my spring portraits. And then the other one was 9th grade, that was my fall portraits. That was like the one that's in the yearbook and on my ID card. As you can see, I had gained weight, like it was a little heavy. I looked a little heavier just in the face and stuff, but I was still thin because I'm just really small anyways, like in stature I'm very petite. I think I'm more like a 5 or a 7, something like that. It depends on, or sometimes a 9. It depends on the brand because honestly women's sizes suck. And it goes by brand, like it varies not, but by brand, and not like, there's not like men's pants where there's like inseam and like leg length. It's, women's clothing is ridiculous. Women's clothing is just absurd. Honestly, high school, like freshman year, it was kind of just hell. From the beginning of the year, I was fine. I was really happy. And then I started to, I was happy, but I had still suffered from my depression, so even though, like, everything was going fine, I had always, I always overanalyze things, so I make everything worse on top of being depressed. So I'd be depressed, and I'd be like, oh, something went wrong, and then I'd overanalyze it and just make it worse, and make myself really anxious, and give myself anxiety attacks. All up until December, I always had, and in December as well, I had lots of panic attacks and anxiety attacks while I was, like, in class and stuff, and, so that made me, like, go home a lot. Like, I went home a lot. Like, I would go to school for, like, first, second, and third period, then I'd just go home, and I'd do that. I think I did that for at least, like, total, like, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. So I missed a lot of school. In my biology class, I went from being, like, grade A star student to, like, where the hell is this girl? And then in January, there was a whole big fiasco. I don't know if you guys know about it or not. I'll probably make another video some other time talking about it, if I haven't already. But it had all just gotten really, really bad, and I basically dug myself into a hole. I had asked my mom before December, like in like October, November, if I could be put in independent study, because I was wanting to be put on a 504, which is basically like if you need to get out of class, so you have an anxiety attack and you need to go to the nurse's office just to calm down. Any work that you miss, your teachers have to give you. You don't get marked down for not being in class, things like that. That's a 504. I was wanting to get put on that, and it took a couple months because you have to talk to your counselor about it, and then your counselor has to talk to your parents or guardians, and then once that happens, then the counselor has to set up a meeting with you and the school psychologist, and the psychologist isn't always at the school. Like, they're not on campus 7 days a week. And when they are on campus, it's like 2 days a week for like 3 hours a day, maybe, like, at the most, if not less. 6 to 8 hours a week they're on campus or something like that. That didn't happen, and I had talked to my counselor about, I was talking about an independent study program when I went in there one time, and I was like, oh, I'd like to be put in that, and I was begging and begging and begging my mom to put me in it, and after January, my mom was like, okay, this is a good decision, like, this is going to get you away from people, it's going to give you time to recover, it's going to give you time to get better before you have to deal with these people again, and that happened, and now I'm a lot better, like, a hell of a lot better. Like, you don't even know, like, I've come a long way, like, from where I was in January. Like, I'm so genuinely happy now, and The last time I hurt myself was like maybe a month ago. I had relapsed. That was the second or third time I relapsed since I got out of the hospital, but it wasn't that bad, like at all. I mean, relapsing is relapsing no matter how bad or. But yeah, so that was that. And I just really don't. It's not that I didn't like the program, like the learning portion of the program. It's just that I would have rather had it set up differently to where you have interaction with other kids. Because yes, even though there are other kids in the program, you don't get to like associate with them or talk with them. So there wasn't really any like, and there's not really any classroom discussion because everyone is in their own class and it's all different. So that's pretty much it. I'm a very social learner too. So not having people around me, even though people make me anxious and I get really paranoid sometimes, not having people around me was like horrible for me because I always felt like I just felt like lonely a lot of the times, you know, when I was at school and I'd go in alone and like sit there at my iMac and just like work away and stuff and like be taking notes, and it was just horrible. Like I always wished that I wanted my friends back, and there was a whole other problem with whatever. Maybe I'll make a video about all that happened in January and February. It was all just bad, bad, bad. I wanted my friends back, but I knew that they didn't want me back because for some reason they just weren't having that. Like they weren't wanting to deal with anything that I was dealing with. And so yeah, so that's pretty much that. I wanted like friends that I can hang out with, you know, and people in the classroom that I can have intelligent discussions with. You know, things like that. I wanted to be able to articulate my opinions and express them toward other people, but I couldn't because I was in a class all on my own. And I have no problem with online learning. Like, I think that's something that'll be kind of really cool is, maybe not, but I think in the future schools are going to be, you're in a class for a certain amount of time during the day, and then you go home and you do all the work online. So it'll basically be a paperless class. So everything will be graded by the computer or sent to the teacher, and then very few things will be printed out.